About 65 degrees here in San Francisco today. And a reminder, this game is brought to you in high definition here on CBS. We've had the toss of the coin as you take a look at Jack Del Rio, longtime player, longtime coach in the NFL, 7th season as the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And across the way, Mike Singletary, his first full season here, interim last season, the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 10-time Pro Bowler with the Chicago Bears. There's a look at Josh Scobie with those 12 touchbacks. He's in the top 10 in the National Football League. And they got a couple guys deep back. Coffey, a reserve running back, is on the left. Josh Morgan, who had a 70-plus yard return in Green Bay, is on the right. And it's not going to matter because this is going to go out of the end zone. And it will be 1st and 10 with the touchback for San Francisco. San Francisco, Solomon, 4-6, second place in the NFC West. They right now are on the outside looking in.
Yeah, they are, but they have another 6 games. And let's face it, they can get some things accomplished. They have tailored the offense to the abilities of their quarterback, Alex Smith, familiar with what he ran at the University of Utah when he was in college.
Smith is going to line up with a couple of tight ends, and that's Delaney Walker, who goes back a step. Gore is in the backfield. And on 1st and 10. Blocked by Sims, the left tackle. This is Gore. Brought down on the play by Ingram. Gore is the slot receiver atop your screen. 2nd down and 3. In the secondary now, 5 for Jacksonville. Smith has been brought in as the nickel. That was knocked away. Knocked away by Harvey. Is it a loose ball? It is recovered by Gore. And about the 20-yard line. But we didn't know if his arm was moving forward or if there was some issue right there. As you see some, they're going to call it an incomplete pass. They are. Incomplete pass. Still the nickel in the secondary for Jacksonville. That's caught by Delaney Walker. And the tight end is tripped up on the play by Derek Cox. And then he lunges ahead to the 47. A catch and run of 21 on 3rd and 3 and Solomon a first down.
Yeah, Kevin, they're spreading them out. They're just going to go with an easy over the middle route, and he clears to the other side. You can see they're matched up against the safety, Reggie Nelson. So they're going to spread them out, and they're going to look for the best possible matchup. Delaney Walker is a fast tight end. So is Vernon Davis. They're going to try to find the best matchup. I think it's really going to give Alex Smith to have a huge day throwing the football.
So it's 1st and 10 on the game opening drive. Back to 4 in the secondary for the Jaguars. And this is Gore. Hit by Harvey. Knocked down on the play after a gain of 4 by Henderson. They'll move into Jacksonville territory at the 48-yard line.
Well, we talked with many of the players for the San Francisco 49ers, and Alex Smith, he says, I'm glad we're getting a chance to run this offense. It's a spread formation. They're going to have 3 wide receivers, typically 1 tight end. Frank Gore will be in the backfield by himself. They're going to spread them out, and this is the offense he ran in college, so he has a tremendous confidence level in his ability to run this offense. And right now, you can see he's in the shot.
And confidence is everything.
It's everything for this player. He said, you eliminate the gray areas, I'll make plays for you.
2 tight ends, 2nd down and 6. Good block by Hyten in the center. Gore broke 1 tackle of Brackenridge and then walks the tightrope and picks up 3 yards on the play. They're going to spot him at the 45, so Brackenridge knocked him just enough off balance that he was knocked out of bounds at the 45.
Now watch Alex Smith. He wanted to go over the middle, but immediately checks it down to the other side. He knew where Frank Gore was. Frank Gore steps right out of bounds right there before he can hit the 1st down marker. But you watch Alex Smith. See, he wants to go over the middle. That's taken away. But you can see how he rips through the progression immediately coming off to the second man in the progression, which was Frank Gore. Dumped it off. They're close to getting a 1st down, but it sets up 3rd and 3.
A little pump fake helps as well, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You can move and manipulate the defenders. That time he wanted to go over the middle, but had to go outside to Frank Gore.
Nichols back in. 3rd down and 3 for Alex Smith. What a block from Gore. To the near side, he's got a receiver, and it was caught for a 1st down. Josh Morgan, he's working on Reggie Nelson, picks up 11 on 3rd and 3. They've got the 1st down to the 34.
Alex Smith says this is as comfortable as I've ever been in an offense since he's come into the National Football League. He knows where all of his receivers are. You can see him come off the initial receiver coming over to the other side. He's moving the chains. I think he's playing at a high level of efficiency at this point in the ball game.
So he's gone to his tight end Walker for 21. Morgan right there for 11. 7th play of the drive from the 34. 1st and 10. Here is Gore. Ellison just came in on the line, knocks him down after a gain of 2 to the 32. But their strength is running the ball. Their strength, the team was built for a guy like Frank Gore.
It's something that there's no doubt Mike Singletary wants to do. Wants to be a team that runs the ball, to establish the power run game. But he said, hey, we lost our bookends at offensive tackles. We have talented players like Vernon Davis and Michael Crabtree. But we're going to spread them out, but we're not going to forget about Frank Gore. So by spreading them out a little bit more and you keep Frank Gore in the backfield, I think they still will be able to run the football. Right now, it's an empty backfield set.
Well, Gore will be in motion in the shotgun, 2nd down and 8. Now, the shotgun is what they ran in Green Bay with effectiveness last week. And it's Gore. And then stopped by the nickel, who is Anthony Smith on a gain of 3 down to 28. Now, it's a little different getting a handoff for a back in the shotgun formation as opposed to the conventional offense.
Take a look at this, though. See how he's just picking his hole? And so you don't put a lot of stress on the offensive line by spreading them out. You have fewer defenders in the box, and now Frank Gore is going to be able to pick his spot and try to find some soft seams in that defense. As we approach 3rd down, look for him to spread them out. If they get a cover 2 look, you can expect Vernon Davis to go over the middle of the field and make a play in between the safeties.
Witherspoon is now the 6th defensive back. Dime secondary. They've converted 2 3rd and 3s on this drive. 3rd and 5 right now. Sims with some time with the good block, and that was intended for Hill. The coverage on the play by Cox, the rookie. So it'll be 4th down.
Well, they didn't get the cover 2 look. It's actually man under. And so he's just trying to find a receiver that's open, trying to get the ball out of his hand. This ball's not thrown as accurately as it could be by Alex Smith. Watch the ball, okay? The receiver slipped, it fell down. Okay, that's why it was thrown just a little bit outside of the reach of Hill.
So here is the tallest kicker in the NFL at 6'5", Joe Nedden. He'll be trying a 46-yard attempt. They can get 46 yards. It's right before the 37, and the kick. A couple nice completions by Smith of 21 to the tight end, Walker, and 11 yards to Morgan.
Came out, was very efficient. Remember, they threw it 6 times, ran it another 3. So we said they were going to put the game in the hands of Alex Smith. I thought he came out and really acquitted himself very well in that first drive, showing some good rhythm. They're going to be able to win some of the matchup advantages throwing the ball.
So Nedney knocks in a 46-yard field goal. This goes up short. Montel Owens will take it. As he breaks a couple tackles, he's up to the 29-yard line. Beautiful day in San Francisco. First drive of the game, the 49ers went downfield, 80 yards, got a 46-yard field goal. Now from the 29, here is a 1st and 10 for David Garrard. He's got 2 tight ends. That's caught. Holt out to the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 40. Jones-Drew with the Greg Jones lead. Boy, nothing right there. Look who's got him. Justin Smith in the middle, and no gain on the play. Smith was that high-priced free agent from Cincinnati a couple years ago. Bly may go up against his old teammate today. That's Holt. They're in St. Louis together. 2nd down and 10. Britton with a block. Maurice Jones-Drew. Manawai with a block, and a tackle made again by Justin Smith on a gain of a yard to the 40-yard line.
Well, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to have to come up with a little bit more creativity when it comes to throwing the ball. I know they want to get the ball to Maurice Jones-Drew, but remember, they're going up against a 49ers defense ranked 6th in the National Football League in terms of their ability to stop the run. That means Jack Del Rio is going to have to open up the playbook, put the game in the hands of David Garrard, push the ball down the field, create some seams and some spaces for the wide receivers to make some plays.
Niners have gone to 6 in the secondary, 3rd down and 10, and they need about the 50-yard line. Boy, was he whacked as he threw it. The pass is there, but I don't think Holt got the necessary yardage. He was belted on the play by Mark Roman. It's a gain of 8. Garrard was really whacked. He goes to the 48-yard line with the completion. They're 2 yards shy. They got to punt the ball.
Yeah, we call this a bang-bang play because it was bang on the quarterback and bang on the receiver, Torrey Holt. And how about Mark Roman? But watch, here's the first bang. Look at the hit on David Garrard. He got rid of it just before he was hit, but not enough time to extend the ball down the field and pick up a 1st down.
Podlesh, who averages about 42 yards a punt, will send this with very little breeze in his back, and deep back is Brandon Jones. And right there to drill him with a great defensive play, rookie William Middleton out of Furman, a little school in Greenville, South Carolina. From the 8 with 2 tight ends. It's first down and 10. Montavious Stanley begins his defensive series on the line for Jacksonville. He pushed the pocket. Great hit right there on Gore by Smith. It's a gain of 3 to the 11-yard line.
And you got to have some consistency, I think, for a quarterback, a young guy, to learn. Look at 5 straight years. These are the coordinators Alex Smith has played under. So you keep changing the script. We now have Jimmy Ray calling the plays in 2009 for Alex Smith. But he told us, he said, I play better when you eliminate the gray areas. I think when you keep changing offensive coordinators and systems, those gray areas are going to remain for your young quarterback.
Second down and 7. Moran Norris is now in the backfield, and that offset eye is the fullback. And this is Gore. Gobbled up on that defensive line by the number 1 pick out of Florida. That's Derek Harvey. It's a loss of a yard. He's back to the 10-yard line. 6 in the secondary now for the Jaguars. Third down and 7 from the 10. Sims another block at that left tackle. That is way over the head of the intended receiver, Michael Crabtree. It's incomplete. Good coverage on the side by Cox, and they got to punt the ball 3 and out.
Yeah, they were trying to read the coverage. Cox did a really good job of really trying to disguise it, and excellent in bump and run coverage matched up against Michael Crabtree. And so you can see the 49ers are going to have to really get a better read on the coverage they're getting from Jacksonville.
So here is Andy Lee, one of the best punters in the NFL. Number 2 in gross, number 2 in net. They'll send this away. Iwu came in with the rush. Deep back is Witherspoon. Hang time of 4-4. Witherspoon on the way. And he was brought down on the play by the 49ers. Hunting on 3 and out. San Francisco from the 37. First and 10. That is the tight end / wide receiver Ernest Wilford. It is a gain of 9. Michael Lewis knocks him out of bounds. And the gain to the 46-yard line as we take a look at the playoff picture very early in the AFC.
Indianapolis extend their winning streak, now winning 11 in a row. And so Jacksonville kind of on the hot seat. If they lose here today in San Francisco, that would give the division to the Indianapolis Colts. They would clinch the division title in the AFC South.
Second down and 1. Mike Thomas in motion, the rookie. Maurice Jones-Drew, who grew up about 40 miles from here, plows his way into the grasp of Justin Smith. Crossing midfield down to the 47-yard line, picks up 6. He's got to be a hard target at 5'6", 5'7". How would you tackle a guy like that? That's small.
Oh, there's no doubt. I think you got to size him up, and I think it's not about one guy. It's about the emerging defenders, keeping them hemmed in. But certainly the first guy's got to wrap him up. You got to tackle him with your arms. He doesn't give you a lot to hit because he's such a short guy, but to be short, hey, don't mistake that. He's very powerful. Not an easy guy to get on the ground.
With 2 tight ends, first and 10 for Garrard. Their second possession. Go that dead in mid-motion. First time the Jaguars had it. 4 plays punt. And our referee today is John Perry.
False start. Number 11. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
John's dad was a NFL official back in the 1980s. As you take a look at Jack Del Rio. Again, bringing his team out for a West Coast trip on a Friday, as he did in Seattle a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and they didn't play well in that previous trip, and they talked about it and said, but we dealt with it. As soon as we got back from Seattle, and you could tell they've gone on now to be able to win on the road, big-time win in New York a couple of weeks ago against the Jets, and they come out here, I think, a more battle-tested and more mature football team.
First and 15. Outside they got Thomas. He gets a block on the wing from Holt, and he's belted and brought down at about the 46-yard line, hit down there by Goldson. That's a gain of 6 on the play. San Francisco couldn't get an extra defensive back in, so Jacksonville cashes in on that.
And Garrard, I think the experience you could see paying off, understanding where to go with the ball, immediately going outside, where they were able to try to get some of the yards lost due to that penalty. Now on second and medium, you'll see them try to get the ball down the field to create a more manageable third down situation.
Good start for Garrard, 5 of 5.
Yeah, he's playing really well, and he has played well, I think, since that game in Seattle.
They're in the nickel on second down and 9. Little fake, and then the play looked like it just blew up, and no one was there. There wasn't a single receiver within 10 yards of where that ball landed at the 40-yard line. And the San Francisco 49ers are saying it was grounding.
Well, it's good coverage. See, there's the coverage, and then he understands that they took away his receiver, and all he did was threw the ball away.
Number 9 of the offense. He was in the pocket, and where the ball landed, there was no eligible receiver. That'll be a loss of down at the spot of the foul. 3rd down.
So you don't think it was a busted route?
No, they took the receiver away. They jammed the receiver. There was no release, and he sensed the pressure was on him. All he was trying to do was get rid of the ball, but because he was in between the tackle, he was in the box behind the line of scrimmage, you've got to throw that ball near a receiver. You just can't throw it away out of bounds because they're going to get you for the intentional grounding penalty. See, they took the receiver away. He knows he's going to get sacked. He says, okay, just get rid of the football, but he was in the tackle box, and so you have to have an intended receiver on the play.
Kentwan Balmer was the guy to nail him. Now 6 in the secondary for San Francisco. It is 3rd and 18. They need the 38 of the Niners. He's hit again as he throws. This is caught by the tight end Mercedes Lewis out of UCLA, and he was whacked on the play by Goldson. It's a gain of 10. They got to punt once again. They're shy of a 1st down.
Very hard to get the 1st down here. They only rushed 3 defenders, Kevin, but they dropped 8 back in coverage. So you've got to check it down in front. Look, 8 guys covering the field on the back end. That's why you throw it in front of the coverage, hoping you can break a tackle and extend it for the 1st down. But you try to throw the ball deeper down the field, good chance it's going to be intercepted.
And you take a look at Brandon Jones, former Tennessee early round draft choice. 5 plays punt for Jacksonville. Almost blocked. Bodlish gets it away. There the fair catch is awarded from the 9-yard line after the punt by Jacksonville. 1st and 10. They go outside. This is Davis. Hit by Nelson. Flag is down. Gain of 9 and it stands right now at about the 18-yard line. And Vernon Davis, one of the more explosive tight ends in the National Football League, who had a terrific game last week. And as you see, we have a flag.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic 1st down.
So they get it. Ingram is called. 2 tight ends here. 1st down and 10. 3rd possession for San Francisco. Boss with a good block. This is Gore. On him, 340-pound John Henderson. No gain on the play. It will stay at the 33-yard line. We talked about Gore. Now this offense of San Francisco was built to run. And Mike Singletary is that kind of coach. He's a smash-mouth coach.
But you know what? He's smart enough to understand that they're built to do something differently. Once they lost Joe Staley, the left tackle, and Tony Pashos, the right tackle, he says, okay, maybe we've got to do things a little bit differently. And since Michael Crabtree has joined this football team, I think it's given them another weapon, a big play weapon on the outside who can make plays down the field.
With 4 in the secondary, 2nd down and 10. Tight ends, bottom of your screen. Oh, wow, here comes Henderson. He got that ball away, caught by Davis, and it was hit there by Ingram. And it's a gain of 5, and he's to the 38-yard line. I guess you can't expect an offense to change in week 11, week 12 of the season, can you?
No, you can't. But I think you've got to be able to go with the talent that you have, and that's what they're trying to do. You're getting the ball over to Vernon Davis. He's a very difficult guy to cover in the field, and their ability to pressure the quarterback, as you see Henderson just teeing off on Alex Smith. Jacksonville ranks dead last with only 10 sacks in their first 10 games this season. I think if you're San Francisco, you've got to feel comfortable that you can protect well enough and make some plays throwing the ball in this football game.
6 in the secondary now for Jacksonville. 3rd down and 5. And that is through the hands of the intended receiver, and that was Davis. Great coverage on the play by Gerald Alexander, a one-time starter for the Detroit Lions, and they got a punt, 4 and out.
The ball is above his shoulders, but you got to be able to make this catch. You're beyond the 1st down marker. If he makes that catch, it's going to be a 1st down, but he gets hit. Feel it. You can feel it. They teed off on him, but your Vernon Davis got to be able to make it.
Here's Lee to punt. Witherspoon back at the 11-yard line for Jacksonville. Hang time of 4-2. Oh, he's got a seam. Wilford with the block, and there he goes. Knocked down by the punter in San Francisco territory. He was hit by the punter, Andy Lee. A nice lead block by the tight end, Wilford. A San Francisco player is down. A 51-yard punt, a 42-yard return. And Witherspoon, who is out of tiny Stillman College, With a look at the player down right there, that is the defensive back Curtis Taylor, who is a rookie out of LSU. The player down is Curtis Taylor, basically a special teamer. And you see they got the card out there. It looks to be a issue, obviously, with his left leg, left knee. And so they will take him to the locker room. Every facility in the National Football League has an X-ray machine. They'll take him there, and they'll get a quick diagnosis on his injury.
There he is there. Look at that.
The hip, he's holding on to the lower part of his back, it looks like. His hip.
Wow.
Was he even hit, or was he just running?
I don't even want to try to guess as to what that injury could be. But no one hit him. He just kind of went down in a heap as he was running, holding his lower back.
So the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to get the ball here with just seconds remaining in the first quarter. The first time they had it, 4 plays punt. Second time they had it, 5 plays punt. This will be their third possession. Easily their best beginning field position today.
Yeah, look at the starting drive for the Jacksonville Jaguars at their own 40. And on this one, they're on the other side of the 50-yard line.
2 tight ends atop your screen for David Garrard. A record as a starter of 30 and 26, 1st and 10. Mercedes Lewis gives him some time. Little shuffle pass. This is Maurice Jones-Drew. Brought down on the play by Paris Harrelson. 17-yard catch and run. Starting the second quarter, there was a 42-yard punt return by Witherspoon. 17-yard catch and run by Maurice Jones-Drew. That gives him it now 1st down and 10 at the 30-yard line. Looking for Sims Walker. And the coverage in the secondary by Shante Spencer. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
David Garrard getting off to a good start. That was only his 2nd incompletion of the game, so he's done a real good job of moving the chains and keeping his team in it. I think they've got to be able to produce more on 1st down, and right now you see 2nd and 10, so the ability to run the football, I think, against the 49ers are going to be very difficult. They've played a lot of snaps. I know Jack Del Rio talked about both teams being very similar in terms of how they're built. He feels like he has the advantage at the quarterback position.
2nd down and 10. 5 in the secondary. Maurice Jones-Drew. They were on at that time. Hit by Goldson, among others. Lawson at the bottom of that pile. They gain a yard. If there is a Michael Crabtree equivalent for Jacksonville, it is this Mike Sims Walker.
Oh, absolutely. And he is a guy that has made tremendous amount of plays for David Garrard. I think that's the reason why this offense has really been able to be very balanced over the last few weeks. He's a guy that can make some plays. Caught 3 passes on the game-winning drive, including the game-winning touchdown in their win last week.
They've gone to 6 in the secondary now as San Francisco. You take a look at Mike Sims Walker, leading receiver at 47 catches on the season. 3rd down and 9. Manawai providing time for Garrard. Maurice Jones-Drew. Michael Lewis is there, prevents him from getting the 1st down. What a great tackle. It was up high, which is probably one of the ways to get this guy. He's at the 22-yard line. He picks up 7 on the play, and the defense relegates Jacksonville to a 3-point try.
Michael Lewis has always been an excellent tackler. He understands he has Maurice Jones-Drew on the sideline, so you don't have to break down, because you use the sideline as an extra defender. You close in and run through the ball carrier.
So, with little breeze to contend with, here is a 40-yard field goal try by Josh Scobie. The hold from Podlish. Jeremy Kane will snap it. He does not get this one. That defense holds right there. Boy, they had that great punt return by Witherspoon. They squandered great beginning field position.
Yeah, drive started at San Francisco 47-yard line. David Garrard and his team can't move into position to put points on the board, and then Josh Scobie missing the 40-yard field goal.
Defensive tackles are Ellison, and here goes Smith on 1st down and 10. It's Crabtree winding his way around, finally brought down by Nelson. That is a gain of 8, and they'll spot him at the 38-yard line. Michael Crabtree out of Texas Tech.
Look at the NFC playoff picture, and the New Orleans Saints playing in a big-time game tomorrow night against the Patriots. And, Minnesota, Dallas, Arizona all continue to play well. And how about the Eagles improving their record to 7-4 today?
I'll get a chance to watch that New Orleans-New England game tomorrow night. That'll be a beauty. 2nd down and 2. Stanley is the other defensive tackle out there for Jacksonville. Gore is in motion. End around. Tight end Delaney Walker. Got a nice block from Sims. Crashes his way into Considine at midfield. We'll mark him at the 49. Picks up 10 on 2nd and 2 and a 1st and 10.
Jimmy Ray, offensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, showing great creativity with Delaney Walker lining up in the slot, coming all the way around. And I think that's what you need to do in order to keep a defense off balance. Take a look at the hit, chopping the legs out from up under Delaney Walker. That was Reggie Nelson.
That wasn't an end around. That was a tight end around.
Absolutely.
You don't see that very much, do you?
Yeah, he was lined up, but he's a former running back, so
right,
you
exactly.
expect him to be able to carry the ball.
It's 1st and 10. And the aforementioned Walker in motion. Gore inside. Terrence Knight just checked in. You see the avalanche of defenders. It is a gain of 2 down to the 49. What do you think of this offensive line of San Francisco? You touched on it earlier. They've had injuries at the tackles. Their guards are struggling. They're kind of going on the run here.
You know, they've really struggled, I think, on the offensive line. I think last week you saw their inability to protect their quarterback, Alex Smith, especially in the first half. Frank Gore had a nice run early in the game last week against Green Bay. But then after that, they really did disintegrate and have not been able to have the kind of consistency that they're looking for. I think by spreading them out and going to this kind of offense, it is at least giving the quarterback a chance to make some plays and taking advantage of the weapons you have on the perimeter.
See the sack right there. Story. 2nd long 8 into the nickel. Here comes Smith. Vernon Davis brought down by the extra defensive back Anthony Smith, the former Steeler. He works his way to the 36, picks up 14. That's a 1st down. And a flag has been thrown at the 37. So the tight ends have put their fingerprints on this drive. A tight end
pass, illegal contact, number 20, defense. That penalty will be declined. The result of the play, 1st and 10.
I do believe San Francisco have the matchup advantages. Vernon Davis, who you going to cover him with? Is it going to be a corner? Is it going to be a safety like Anthony Smith? And while Smith was in tight coverage, gets flagged for illegal contact, but then Davis still is able to make the catch. I think that's something that you can't get away from. Continue to feed the ball to Vernon Davis, and then you can't forget about Michael Crabtree. He can also make plays.
Henderson back in on that defensive line for Jacksonville, and it is 1st down and 10. A lot of shotgun today for Smith. Right down the middle. Drop Davis. What a big-time hit. Sean Considine drills him. The ex-Philadelphia starter. It'll be 2nd down and 10. He had an interception last week against Buffalo.
We told you he can bust up your cover 2 zone. He gets behind the linebacker, Justin Durant. But look at the helmet of Sean Considine. He gets knocked back, but the helmet is on the ball. He's able to pry it loose. Look at the 8 touchdowns so far this year for Vernon Davis, turning around his career from 2008 to 2009. He's just 1 shy in terms of his touchdown receptions of a team record for tight ends for the San Francisco 49ers, and that's saying a lot.
Yep, they've had some good ones here. 2nd down and 10. Ellison has come in. Julius Williams on that defensive line has left. 2 tight ends for Smith. Gore with the block. Knighton is chasing. Almost picked off by Smith. They were going, I think, for Gore, who gave a little chip out of the backfield. Incomplete, 3rd and 10.
Sometimes young quarterbacks try to do too much. I know he's trying to make a play, but we always say don't throw the ball back inside late. See, you try to throw the ball in this area. Now the ball's thrown high. It should have actually been intercepted by Darryl Smith, who goes diving for the ball. But we talk about don't throw the ball late over the middle, because if you miss the intended target, tips and overthrows are usually intercepted.
Julius Williams is back in. 5 in the secondary, 3rd down and 10. Gore at the side of Smith, who is 10 of 16 throwing today for San Francisco. There he's got the receiver, Michael Crabtree. Hit by Smith. Look where he slides down to the 9. A 27-yard catch and run after a 14-yard pass to Davis. A catch and run of 10 by Walker, 27 right there to Crabtree, 1st and goal.
Alex Smith said that Michael Crabtree is one of the most natural football players he's ever seen. Excellent feel for the defense, has a high football IQ. He understands what he's getting. Watch how he reads the coverage as he runs the route, and then he breaks it and sits it down. He doesn't take it inside where the linebacker can intercept the play. So he's a heady football player and has the physical talent to match. And boy, he doesn't lack in confidence, Kevin.
Crabtree's in the backfield right now. First and goal at the 9. Smith, Josh Morgan, Considine with the hit. And he's down to about the 3, and he picks up 6. And just extending that conversation on Crabtree. He missed all of camp. He missed a quarter of the season. And he's come in and become this electrifying player.
71 day of holding out. And a lot of people were sort of disgruntled. But here's a kid, all he's done since he's joined the football team, he's fit right in. And the players really love having him. He makes them a better football team since the day he showed up. And even Alex Smith told us that I was shocked and stunned just how well this guy was able to integrate himself in and make plays after missing an entire training camp.
Tony Rocky comes in as a tackle eligible on the left side there at the end of the line. Second goal at the 3. Moran Norris with a block. Smith running out of room. That looks like where Montana threw that pass. Maybe a little bit deeper, of course, but nonetheless, he's out of bounds, incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and goal.
Sometimes the best plays you can make at quarterback is to just throw the ball away. It's to not have the egregious error with so many defenders. Look at that. You've got 5 defenders in that corner of the end zone and only 2 potential receivers. Alex Smith smartly throwing the ball away. He's scored on 23 straight goal-to-goal possessions, 19 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. How about that for a young quarterback in an offense that most people think have been struggling?
Their red zone touchdown efficiency, number 6 in the NFL.
Yeah, and Mike Singletary has to love it. Yeah, I know they have the ability to run the ball. Let's see what they do here.
Glenn Coffey is in for Gore. 3rd and goal at the 3. This is a fake to Coffey. Wide open. They got the touchdown. That is Vernon Davis. His 9th reception in the end zone this season.
How do you leave Vernon Davis wide open? I mean, you know he is a threat to catch the football. More of a threat to catch it than he is to run block. Even when they give you the run formation, yeah, it's going to be play action. But watch here. See how he just gets loose? You've got to be able to keep him inside of you. They don't do it. That's Derek Harvey, number 90, dropping coverage, allowing him to get outside. This is just way too easy for the San Francisco 49ers.
He's their leading receiver. He was their number 1 pick back in 06, and he came into this weekend number 2 in the NFL in touchdown receptions, number 9 right there. You saw the historical significance of that. He's having a career year. Nedney tacks on another. There were some great plays on that drive. So a good-looking drive by San Francisco and their quarterback Alex Smith, a 3-yard touchdown pass to Vernon Davis, and the 10-0 lead over the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, and incorrectly I said that it was Derek Harvey who dropped coverage. It was actually defensive end Julius Williams who is starting in place of Quentin Groves.
Here is Witherspoon. Owens will provide some room with the block and then brought down by a couple, including Marcus Hudson. Here come the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've got it from their own 22. 1st down and 10. Moments ago, a 3-yard touchdown pass to tight end Vernon Davis. Maurice Jones-Drew. Takeo Spikes, the ex-Buffalo Bill, limits him to a gain of 3 out to the 25-yard line. Opposing quarterbacks have nailed the secondary of San Francisco. They've had 5 different quarterbacks throw for over 300 yards. So far, Garrard only 70.
Playing without their top 2 corners. Nate Clemens, remember, Walt Harris was lost back in OTAs. And boy, with those 2, they make them a much better defense.
That's a good point. 2nd and 7. Almost picked off by Lawson. There was great pressure up the middle by linebacker Patrick Willis. It's incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
We always say pressure leads to picks. They get the pressure. Watch 52. There you see it right there. That's Patrick Willis. But then Lawson, you got to get the pick. You got to be able to complete it. Pressure in the face forces a bad throw from David Garrard. Ball actually hit as it's coming out of his hand. You make this catch, you're going to set your offense up in a position to put more points on the board, maybe going up 17-0 here in the 1st half on Jacksonville.
There are 6 defensive backs. It's 3rd down and 7. That's incomplete. Sims Walker over there. Spencer was covering. It's a 3-and-out for Jacksonville. That's the way they answer that touchdown drive moments ago by San Francisco, and the Jaguars have got a punt.
Well, it starts by pressure. You force them to have a 3-step drop, get the ball out of the hands of the quarterback, and now you can see they're jumping on the short route. So Jacksonville's got to come back and put a double move on those secondary defenders.
Brandon Jones, who was drafted by the New York Yankees at one time in his past, then went and played some college football at Oklahoma. He is deep back. Honlish to punt it. Great punt. Jones from the 27, hang of 3.97, and that was a great play from the 34, 1st and 10. Ingram is out. New linebacker is in. Russell Allen. Gore in the backfield. That was batted down. I don't know if it was Stanley who got in there up in his grill, but someone knocked it down. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, they want to go to the bunch formation side. You get 3 wide receivers set over here. That's where they want to go with the ball. But they were able to bat it down. Look at that. Getting the hand on the ball to be able to knock it down. That's number 95, Montavious Stanley. Didn't come off the line of scrimmage. If you don't get penetration, get the hands up, see if you can knock it down.
It's 2nd down and 10. Snyder with the block at that right side. That is dropped to the near side by Vernon Davis. They get it 3rd and 10. It's 3rd down and 10. Extra defensive back has been added by the Jaguars. Smith. Josh Morgan. Cocks it, and then Darryl Smith levels him shy of the 1st down to the 41-yard line. 3 yards shy. They got a punt after the gain of 7.
Yeah, San Francisco squanders a great opportunity to be able to move the ball, put some points on the board. They get the completion, but they don't get the 1st down. Morgan can't shake the defenders. Look at Darryl Smith and so many of the swarming defenders for Jacksonville coming over to make the tackle. Look, you make the catch. He doesn't get 1 more yard after making that catch.
Lead a punt. Weatherspoon, who had a 40-plus yard return the last time, is back there, and that ball's going to die, and it's Terrell Brown. There's a flag. Brown got it about the 14-yard line. 46-yard punt as it stands right now. So David Garrard will take the troops back out there, and they've got to find something here. They've punted on 3 of their 4 possessions today. They missed a 40-yard field goal on possession number 3. And by the way, that miss for Scobie was his 6th miss of the season. Let's take a look at John Perry. Touchdown pass by Smith, the 3 yards by Davis, the only touchdown.
Only the touching of a kick. Number 25 of the kicking team, who went out of bounds and was first to touch. Jacksonville has elected to re-kick a 5-yard penalty.
That probably is a wise choice.
Yeah, because they didn't get good field position. They're hoping that they can.
They want to tack on the 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st and 10.
Well, we'll take that choice. Knox is that rookie out of Abilene Christian who returns kicks for him. He's an exciting young player.
Oh, absolutely. I think the Bears, they've got to be able to win this one or their playoff hopes. I think the light will flicker big time.
It is 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for Garrard. Maurice Jones-Drew. Well, he was belted by Takeo Spikes. The first hit came from Kentwan Bowman. It's a gain of about 6 or 7 on the play, and it will be 2nd down. Over the last 5 years, this Jacksonville offense has been ranked in the top 5 in the AFC.
Yeah, and they really haven't had a receiver who has had over 800 yards in a single season in the last 3 or 4 years. And so now that Mike Sims-Walker's a guy that's beginning to produce, they've had some young players who they've drafted this year who've really been productive on this football team.
Thomas on the move. Dre Bly is following. 2nd down and 4. Jones-Drew, and once again, with the flag thrown, Kentwan Bowman, a number 1 pick out of North Carolina a couple years ago, is there to make the stop.
Holding. Number 63. Offense. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's Brad Meester starting his 140th career game today for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jaguars struggling today on the road, traveling out west. Look at the offense, and boy, they've yet to produce a missed field goal, and then they've punted in 3 of their last 4 possessions and haven't really moved the ball greatly down the football field. And if you take a look at what David Garrard has done, he's had 8 touchdown passes so far this year. 6 have gone to Mike Sims-Walker. But right now in this game, Mike Sims-Walker has yet to catch a pass from David Garrard.
2nd down and 16, and now the officials will stop play. They walked off only 12 yards, and it should have been 10. And I think that's what the discussion is. That they just moved it back, as you saw, to the 16. So now at the 16-yard line, 2nd down and 14. Secondary has 5. And Garrard needs the 30. The block by Meester. The tight end, Mercedes Lewis, to the 22-yard line. Gang tackle. You see Willis at the bottom of the pile there. And Deshaun Goldson was there. It's a gain of 6. They'll spot him at the 22.
Well, you can see why Patrick Willis is a rising star of the National Football League, coached by one of the greatest middle linebackers to ever play the game in Mike Singletary. And Willis is a wicked tackler, leads the team in tackles and in interceptions. If this isn't a football player, then they don't exist, because I'm going to tell you right now, that's the face of a middle linebacker.
He has the second highest tackle total in the NFL.
He is an awesome player.
Still need the 30. 3rd down and 8. 6 in the secondary for San Francisco. Ranieri with the block. Mike Sims Walker. Flag is thrown. And the tackle was made by Terrell Brown. He has the first down as it stands right there, but it looks like it's a penalty against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Pass interference. Number 11. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 3rd down.
Ask yourself, why was there separation between Brown and the wide receiver Mike Sims Walker? They're saying that Sims Walker pushed off 50 penalties entering today, the fewest in the National Football League. But take a look. He's isolated against Brown. There's the push. Comes back to the ball. So the separation was created because Sims Walker was able to get a little shove and come back to catch the football.
Jacksonville, Solomon, has had 5 penalties today, but 4 have been on the offensive side.
Yeah, this is a huge 3rd down situation. I think if you're Garage, you got to be careful not to try to force the ball in coverage and get a turnover here.
6 in the secondary, 3rd and 18. They need the 30. And that is caught by Jennings, who corkscrews his way into the grasp at the 23-yard line of Patrick Willis, along with Harrelson. Gain of 12, and they've got to punt the ball.
And we showed you how they had punted 3 of their previous 4 possessions. Going to have to punt again. But I think once you got the penalty on Sims Walker and forced into a 3rd and 18 situation, you said, well, they went conservative, checked it down, and didn't get a first down. I think that's the smart thing to do, because you could not afford to turn the ball over down 10-0.
Polish the punt. Brandon Jones back at about the 27-yard line. On the move, hang time of 4:37. Montel Owens knocks him out of bounds across the way. Smith back out there. Now, if he had faced this Jacksonville defense earlier in the season, he would have seen a 3-4. But over the last 3-4 games, they've gone back to the 4-3.
And that's because they're trying to do a better job of getting pressure on the quarterback. And I think right now, San Francisco, just under 4 minutes to go. You've got to be able to bleed the clock. You've got to be able to get yourself in a position to put some points on the board before halftime without giving the ball back to Jacksonville.
4 in the secondary, and 1st down and 10 yards to go for Alex Smith. Sims gives him time. Josh Morgan dancing around the grab of Smith, and then knocked out of bounds across the way for Jacksonville by Brackenridge on a gain of 4. We'll spot him at about the 44.
Well, Alex Smith, we talked about how he had gotten into good rhythm into this offense. You could see just waiting for Morgan to come across the formation, making the catch in front of the linebackers. They're not getting a lot of yards after the catch, but that's something that I'm sure will come in time. Right now, I'm really liking the way that they're setting Alex Smith up to be successful throwing the ball in this game today.
Durant is out. Russell Allen is now taking over the middle. Before he's taking the place of Ingram. 2nd down and 7. Then the 2 tight ends. That's Walker on the move. Michelle with the block, and here comes Smith on the fly. Slides into second base at the 40-yard line, but there's a late flag.
Because he was able to slide, and then the defender led with the helmet.
Gain of 11 to the 46, 45-yard line as it stands right now.
Clint Ingram, he did lead with the helmet. Once a quarterback go into that slide position, you can't take a shot at it.
There is no foul for personal foul and necessary roughness on the quarterback, as the defender went over the quarterback and there was no contact.
So he missed him, and maybe a good thing for Clint Ingram. Had he made contact, they would have upheld the penalty. See, once he goes into that slide position, he's protected. You can't lead with the helmet, but because he whiffed on the play, they're going to pick up the penalty flag. Good thing for Ingram that there was no contact on the play.
I noticed Smith said this is the best he's felt in any offense that he's had here in San Francisco.
Well, he looks more confident running this offense.
Right now he's at the 46 with the 1st and 10. Groves is playing the right defensive end, and there's a tackle by Allen, sat on by Henderson. carry by Gore. No gain on the play. They stay at the 46.
Yeah, but they're struggling to run the ball right now, even out of this formation. You would have thought that by spreading out this Jacksonville Jaguars defense, there would be a few more seams inside for Frank Gore to pop one. And under Mike Singletary, with him as their head coach, they're never going to completely get away from the running game, and I don't think you have to worry about that. But he's trying to do anything he can to spark this team and help them win a ball game.
5 in the secondary, second down and 10. Gore pushes out the oncoming blitz, knocked away by Breckenridge on a pass intended for the second-year receiver, Josh Morgan. He's out of Virginia Tech.
Boy, Breckenridge nearly picks this one off, and if he catches it, he's going to take it to the house. Watch him break in front of the receiver, coming downhill, and I think if you're Morgan, you've got to work your way back to the football to take that angle away from Tyrone Breckenridge.
Take a look at him taking the place of Rasheem Mathis, and Mathis, of course, is out with a groin injury. He didn't play last week, not playing today. So the secondary has 5. It's third down and 10. They need the 36. Henderson, Knighton, and Harvey come in, push in the pocket. Alex Smith, Josh Morgan. Nelson knocks him out of bounds. Shy of the first down. He's to the 37. Considine was over there. He looks like he's shy. He picks up 9. This is the 6th possession for San Francisco. 3 punts, a field goal, and a touchdown pass to Davis of 3 yards.
And they're going to go for it on 4th down. I think you can do that because your defense is playing so well. You want to do anything you can to keep your offense on the field. They've been having success moving the ball against this Jaguar defense.
Moran Norris with Gore in the backfield. 4th and 1. Fake to Gore, offers a block. Smith going deep. Oh, and he's got Davis inside the 10. He got the matchup he wanted against the linebacker, Clint Ingram. 1st and goal to go. What a pass by Smith.
And what an aggressive call by the offensive coordinator, Jimmy Ray. They got the matchup they wanted, as you said, Kev, off the left side. And what a throw by Alex Smith. Over the top where his guy can get it. The speed of Vernon Davis is way too much for Clint Ingram. So you don't underthrow it. If anything, you overthrow it and allow your speedy tight end to run under this catch. He's the fastest player on the offensive side of the ball for the San Francisco 49ers. That's saying a lot for a tight end.
At the combine back in 06, he ran a 4.38 40, and that raised a lot of eyebrows, made him a #1 pick out of Maryland.
I think it caught Clint Ingram's attention on that play.
I think it caught everybody's attention. Alex Smith today, 17 of 27 for 165.
We said at the top they were going to put the game in his hands and he would have to make plays, and boy, has he done that in the first half.
It's 1st and goal at the 7 after the 30-yard completion to the tight end, Davis. 5 in the secondary. A little high for Morgan. Coverage by Breckenridge. No yellow on the field. 2nd down and goal.
You ask, okay, why was this ball thrown high? I think he had to get it over the top of the front end of the coverage. And watch, you're going to have some guys here. See the jerseys there? See, look at that. You've got guys right in front of them. Sean Considine maybe taking away that first window where Alex Smith wanted to get the ball. So he's seeing the field really well now. And, well, you enjoyed the conversation we had with him. Even his coach, Urban Meyer, his former college coach, has talked about his development and said that when he knows the offense entirely, he can make plays. I think he's locked in on this offense.
He needs to know the answers. 2nd goal at the 7. This is Gore weaving his way inside the 5, hit by a host of defenders, including Harvey. It's a gain of 3. And he talks to Urban Meyer in the offseason quite a bit, he says.
He says he talks to him quite frequently. And what a source to help build your confidence. You know, you work with the coach who worked with you in college. He's continuing to consult a player like Alex Smith. So has the coaches here in San Francisco. But the fact that Urban Meyer knows him probably better than anyone else to say, hey, you got to drill down, you got to prepare during the week, and when you know everything about the offense, now you can just focus on the opponent. You don't have to think about what you're doing as much, and I think that's where he has grown as a young quarterback.
Well, you talked at the open of our broadcast today about his season being kind of a make or break season for him.
There's no doubt. I think these final 6 games are an audition for Alex Smith as to whether or not he's going to remain the starting quarterback here in San Francisco. They've got to be able to make a decision at season's end if he's going to be their guy.
Four in the secondary, 3rd and goal at the 4. They passed on every 3rd down today. Great time. Snyder with the door closing block. Oh, he caught it. It was Gore. Touchdown. What a pass and what a catch by the running back, Frank Gore.
You can see the patience and the poise of Alex Smith. His ability to buy more time. There was no one to throw this football to in the back of the end zone. And instead of running out of bounds, instead of panicking with the ball, now watching as he comes over to his right, he's going to buy time. There's no pressure. He knows he has time. Now watch how he steps back. He lures the coverage towards him, and that's what allowed Frank Gore to get open. And look at the footwork, toe tapping in the end zone by Frank Gore for a touchdown. Patience pays off for Alex Smith.
And they took over at their 41-yard line with 3:58 to play in the 2nd quarter. That was the 8th play of the drive, and they're going to review the play. He had possession. There was no bubble. His feet were clearly in, and they'll just make sure that he was there. As you take a look at Mike Singletary and San Francisco, well, he had to put that through a very small window. And did you see Gore, how he adjusted his route to get open?
And the thing was, there was no window. Watch these defenders. See, there was no window. As they come closer to the quarterback, that opens it up. And now you can see, I think both feet are in bounds, as you can see right there.
Clearly.
But as you mentioned, there was no window to get that ball into. He was patient, held on to the ball, and as all the defenders rushed towards the quarterback, it opened up a window for Smith to get the ball in the back of the end zone to Frank Gore.
Well, if it counts, Gore will have his 3rd touchdown reception of the season, and Alex Smith will have his 2nd touchdown pass of the day.
They have some real talented players. You look at Alex Smith, if he can continue to develop and mature. Frank Gore, I mean, you talk to teams around this league, we know he's one of the best running backs going. And then how about Vernon Davis? You've seen him make some plays. Michael Crabtree. I think Mike Singletary is doing a really good job of helping the young talent on this football team mature and grow into their own, and they're starting to make plays.
So Mike Singletary, who took over last year in an interim role. Before this, he was in Baltimore as a linebacker coach in what was a very fertile ground for developing not only his head coaching to be, but for others around the National Football League. As we take one more look at Frank Gore, and if he had possession and his feet if they were still in play.
Look at that throw just over the outreach hands of the defenders. But yeah, okay, I'm looking at 2 feet in. I don't see any evidence that his feet were not inbound. I don't see anything that shows us that he was on the white line. And so that's the evidence we have to go by. It was ruled a touchdown on the field, and I think the call on the field will stand.
So here's Gore, a 3rd-round pick out of Miami 5 years ago, and when he was at the University of Miami, he had 2 serious knee injuries. And there's a look at Alex Smith, and we know what he's been all about as the 1st overall pick, the struggles he's had here in San Francisco. He's been injured, he's been benched, now he's back as a starter.
Okay, take a look. We're going to blow it up. Yeah, we zoom right in. I see some green right in there.
After reviewing the play has been confirmed. It is a catch with 2 feet inbounds. The receiver was standing up and not going to the ground to complete the catch. Therefore, the possession was long enough to award touchdown.
We've seen a lot of good catches on that part of the field in that side of the end zone here in San Francisco. A couple notable ones.
Frank Gore knows how to get into the end zone. 5 consecutive games with a touchdown, whether he's rushing or catching the football.
Alex Smith, who took over in the 2nd half of the game against Houston 6 weeks ago with the extra point by Nedney put up and in, and that makes it a 17-0 Jacksonville deficit.
On that catch and throw over to Dwight Clark, and Frank Gore comes up with this one in the corner of the end zone. Boy, they've had some great players here. It all started when Bill Walsh came here in 1979.
So 2 touchdown passes by the quarterback Alex Smith, 1 of 3 yards to the tight end Vernon Davis, and that a 4-yard touchdown pass to Gore. You know, San Francisco has only always going after some balance. Not much balance today between run and pass.
No, you know, you run it 9 times. You say, well, they've thrown it 29 times, and we said at the top that they were going to make that transition, put the game in the hands of their quarterback, Alex Smith, and he's paid off. Yeah, he's throwing it a lot, but boy, he's putting points on the board.
And this is Witherspoon for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and pulled down on the play by Keith Smith, the reserve cornerback. That's a 26-yard return. Into the secondary for San Francisco. Fake to Jennings. That is caught. Mike Sims-Walker right in front of Deshaun Goldson. 16-yard pickup. That's a first down after the 43-yard line.
And Goldson saw this ball coming, but he wasn't able to jump it soon enough to make a play on the ball. It's really good timing and rhythm in the pass from David Garrard.
After the 16-yard pickup, 1st and 10 for Garrard. To their side, Sims-Walker again. Terrell Brown is covering. The gain to the 49, picks up 8.
Starting to move Sims-Walker around and making a concerted effort to get him the football.
Jacksonville burns their second timeout. We have not really seen nor felt the presence of Maurice Jones-Drew in this game, and of course that was the main weapon that San Francisco was most concerned about.
Remember, he was held only 66 yards rushing on 25 carries against a Buffalo Bills defense last week, which ranked dead last in the National Football League at stopping the run. So they come to San Francisco, and you know the 49ers can stop you from running it. They rank 6th in terms of their run defense, and so Maurice Jones-Drew has found the yards very difficult to come by running the football today.
And he's had 3 catches for just 24 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. And now in this final 2-minute situation, he's not even in the game.
6 in the secondary now for the San Francisco 49ers. 2nd down and 2 for Jacksonville. Jennings in the backfield provides time. And Garrard. Mike Sims-Walker for a 3rd consecutive time. Working on the near side, working on Michael Lewis. Picks up 18 on this drive. He's had receptions of 8 and 16 yards.
Watch number 25, Terrell Brown. He will fall down, and that's what allows this pass to be caught. See, he's on the ground, then Sims-Walker's able to make the catch. See, once he slips and falls down, see, he can't drive on the ball. And boy, had Sims-Walker just kept his feet, I think he could have turned and ran up the sideline.
He had the game-winning touchdown reception last week.
Sure did.
Against Buffalo. 1st and 10 from the 30. Garrard. Good time. Nice catch made by Holt. Grabbed on the play by Goldson. 18-yard pickup for Torrey Holt, the 7-time Pro Bowler. Someday he will be in Canton.
Right now, you've got to dial up the heat. I think Greg Minuski, defensive coordinator for San Francisco, you've got to dial up some heat, continue to put pressure on David Garrard. The fact that they've not been able to do it, Garrard has been able to take advantage of it, completing passes on this drive. They've thrown it 4 straight times. He's completed every single one of them.
So he's number 10 in receptions and number 10 now in receiving yards in NFL history. What a career. 32-yard field goal try now with 4 seconds to play in the first half. And the missed field goal of 40 yards earlier in the game by Scobie. His 6th miss of the season. Now San Francisco will take a timeout. They had 2. Now they have 1 left. So for Jack Del Rio, they will get something positive to take to the locker room should they make the field goal.
Should they make the field goal? I'm sure he's hoping that they're going to be able to make it. Remember, Scobie's already missed one, a 40-yard field goal attempt earlier in the ball game, and well within his range. So certainly you would expect him to be able to knock this one through. But really, I think this offense has found some momentum. To be able to get a field goal here, gain some momentum going in at halftime has to bode well for the Jaguars going into the locker room.
Well, they come right now into this game right in the thick of the wild card hunt in the AFC. 3 consecutive wins, 6 of their last 8. This will be a 32-yard try by Scobie. Rodlish on the hole. Jeremy Kane on the snap. And 3 on the board. The shutout is gone, and no time remains in the first half. So Joe Nedney, who has kicked already in this game a 46-yard field goal, has it there for San Francisco. A team that began the season 3-1. As I said before, they've lost 5 of 6. Trying to reclaim their stride in this season.
First game this season with no sacks and no turnovers in the first half.
And the kickoff to Witherspoon, who hits the deck at the 15. Matt Wilhelm, along with a couple others, force him out of bounds after an 11-yard return. A Let's take a look at our quarterbacks this afternoon. Garrard of Jacksonville and Alex Smith of San Francisco.
Well, I think David Garrard has been highly efficient, 14 of 18, and not able to get the completions on third down that he's looking for. Both quarterbacks playing pretty even in the first half with a quarterback rating north of 100. But the 2 touchdown passes for Alex Smith, I think, really has his offense doing what they wanted to do, throwing the ball and winning the matchup advantages with his weapons on the perimeter.
At the 24-yard line, here comes that second tight end, Wilford, in motion. They go right over Manawai, but sidestepping that beautifully was Garrard. Nice looking catch by Wilford. He was held on the play by Goldson. Wilford, a former wide receiver, left for Miami. They converted him to a tight end. He's back in Jacksonville. 30-yard pickup. Marked the ball at the 46.
And watch the pressure. And Garrard just really, look, he sidesteps that. And look at Goldson. He's had good coverage, but Wilford comes back to the ball while Goldson continues to drift. And so it was a really good throw, but it started with the protection for the quarterback, David Garrard, picking up where he left off in that first half.
Good point. He's hit 7 consecutive passes. From the 46, 1st and 10. Mike Thomas, all-time leading Pac-10 receiver, runs over the defense across the way, and that was Dre Bly. Catch and run to the 34. He picks up 12 on the heels of Wilford's 30-yard pickup. That field goal at the end of the first half may be having a nice carryover effect here.
It's about the tempo of the offense. They're going no huddle. They're continuing to move it, and I think they saw they were able to do that on the last drive. They said, well, why not come out here in this first possession of the second half and do the same thing?
Working with 4 defensive backs. It's 1st and 10. This is Mike Thomas again. Look at the block there by Mike Sims Walker. The eventual tackle is made by Patrick Willis. It's an 18-yard pickup. They've had completions of 30 and 12 yards on this drive.
Poor tackling last week cost them against the Green Bay Packers, where the Packers wide receivers had tremendous amount of yards after the catch. A missed tackle right there by Goldson allows the wide receiver to be able to shake one guy and then get down the field for a huge gain.
That bad tackling cost Brown his job in the secondary. 1st down and 10. Maurice Jones-Drew. And he was grabbed on the play by Franklin. It's a loss of 2. Put him back at the 17-yard line. So you think it's tempo? You think they
absolutely.
Just
see, they're going with the no huddle. They're continuing to do, even if they come back to the huddle as they're going to do on this play, but they're just really not allowing San Francisco to substitute. They've got the matchup advantages they want. They're coming up and quick snapping the ball, and they're creating those opportunities where once they get the ball in the hands of the receivers, only one defender to beat, and they're beating that guy and making him miss a tackle and picking up huge chunks of yards.
And you just saw San Francisco defensively so good about the opponent's first possession in the second half. 2nd down and 12. Ranieri with the block. Oh, and it's a fumble, and it's recovered by San Francisco. At the 27, Justin Smith reels it in. He has fumbled the quarterback of Jacksonville, Garrard, 7 times. So on the Garrard fumble at the 27, as they were moving the ball so well, it goes back to San Francisco. 1st down and 10. Alex Smith has thrown 2 touchdown passes today. Outside goes off for Delaney Walker. Look at him break 1 tackle after another, and finally forced out of bounds by Reggie Nelson. A catch and run of 22 yards and a 1st down. They'll spot him at the 44.
49ers playing great on both sides of the ball. Ball comes out of the hand of Alex Smith, and they don't go down. Make them tackle you to the ground if you're Delaney Walker. We said he's a former running back. And look at that. He just loses balance. And if he doesn't go out of bounds there, he's going to run for a touchdown.
Starting defensive line is out there for Jacksonville. In fact, starters from front to back. 1st down and 10 at the 49. Moss with a good block, the guard. Walker again, hit by Ingram. Slides ahead to the 41-yard line, picks up 10 on the play after his 22-yard catch and run moments ago. He had one earlier for 10 in the game, too.
Everyone you talk to with the 49ers in this organization, and even Alex Smith has admitted, this is the most confident, the most comfortable he's been in this now his 5th year in the National Football League. So we take a look at David Garrard, his 7th fumble of the season, most in the National Football League. Don't know if that he had a chance to hold on to it there because his left tackle was beaten immediately. Manny Lawson, take a look at him, came in from the blind side. Wasn't content with just getting the sack. He was also able to swat that ball out.
And did a good job. That's 7 lost. He's actually fumbled 10 times. Gore on 2nd and 1. You see the tackle there is Harvey making the stop. And he'll be close to a first down. So if we can go back and trace some of the offensive roots of what we're seeing today to the spread that really reared its head last week in Green Bay in the second half, we can see some carryover.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. They got it going. Alex Smith did in the second half of that game last week at Lambeau in Green Bay. And I think coming back on the trip home, they said, you know what? It's time to take the training wheels off Alex Smith. It's time to allow him to just go out and play football. And you know, Mike Singletary talked about it. He says, when we lost our tackles, we can't pound the rock and run it, so we might as well let this kid do what he does best.
Get the first down. They only had 4 in the secondary with 4 wide, but they give it to Gore. And stopped by Julius Williams, making his first NFL start today. It's a gain of 4. Mark him at the 37.
What did Mike Singletary tell us about Alex Smith? Said he is a team guy. He's not a me guy. And I can tell you right now, he's remained silent for a long time. And he said, hey, you know, it's about time that we run this offense that I'm most familiar with. It's the same offense that I ran in college, but the whole time he never complained. Even when he was out the last couple of years battling injuries, all he did was come to training camp. He had to fight for his job. Sean Hill won the job, but when Sean Hill couldn't extend the ball down the field and make the big-time throws, they had to turn to Alex Smith, and he's been able to make those plays.
2nd down and 6, 4 in the secondary. Good time. Through the hands of Crabtree. Guarded on the play by Brackenridge. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Crabtree played in that same kind of run and shooter, that spread offense down at Texas Tech.
Good throw. You hit him right in the hands. I know Crabtree's disappointed. Felt like he should have made that catch. You've got to be able to stop the point of the ball. So he caught it on the back end. You don't stop the point. It'll just go right through your hand.
He's one of the top basketball players in the state of Texas. That looked like he should be going up for a rebound.
He's a phenomenal player. Rarely do you see him put the ball on the ground after hitting him in the hands.
Now 5 in the secondary for the Jaguars. 3rd down and 6. Jacksonville's defense against the pass, number 25 overall, number 23 in the NFL. Heitman with a good block to center. Crabtree gets by Alexander, tripped up on the play by Smith, hit by Alexander. The catch and run, taken to the 17, 20-yard pickup. Another San Francisco first down.
He's got swagger. He's got the talent to go along with it. And Smith showing that he's willing to go right back to Michael Crabtree after he dropped the previous throw. And he's able to come down with this one and create yards after the catch. Watch how he makes the defender miss. And not content with the catch and going out of bounds, continuing to move the ball down the field. He's excited, and this entire football team, I think, is excited with the potential that they have on offense.
That's the first down story today and last week against the Packers. 1st and 10 from the 17. Boss provides time. And a big-time hit by Darrell Smith. It goes on Delaney Walker. No gain on the play. It'll stay at the 17-yard line. Well, just think of this. Jacksonville is moving so well, knifing their way through the San Francisco defense, which has been a problem. They could have gone in for 6. Now here is San Francisco on the turnover at the 17 of Jacksonville. We could have a huge swing here.
I think what you have now is a complete performance by the San Francisco 49ers. Their defense forcing David Garrard to turn it over, and now the offense doing something with it, moving the ball down the field. Their defense is getting rest, and they played way too many snaps last week in Green Bay.
They're in the nickel, and Gore, who's in the slot there, will be covered at the bottom of your screen by a linebacker. That's Ingram. 2nd down and 10. Looking for Crabtree. Almost had it. What a great defensive play by the rookie Derek Cox out of William and Mary.
Boy,
terrific play. Rookie against rookie, jousting in the side.
Even Cox knows that he's fortunate because this ball gets behind him, and so does Michael Crabtree, and he just gets an arm up. Watch how he just played it. And you have to wonder, did Crabtree drop that ball?
I think he did.
Because I thought Cox was able to get a hand on it, but he didn't. And look at that. See, that ball hit Crabtree in the hands. He's a little bit upset with himself. He should have hauled that one in. Cox probably finding himself feeling pretty lucky on that one because the ball got beyond him into the hands of Michael Crabtree.
3rd down and 10. Very good, efficient red zone offense of San Francisco. Into the nickel. Josh Morgan, Considine with the hit. Cox with the hit, shy of the first down. Belts it out of bounds at the 9. Picks up 7. And they're going to try for 3. Jacksonville holds him out of the end zone.
Alex Smith thrown the ball over 35 times 36 times today, well over 200 yards. But watch him, he's whipping it out. Feel the contact.
But this is the offense which he was drafted from. This is why they made him the #1 overall pick.
No gray areas.
Yeah,
with no gray areas,
none.
he knows what to do with the football, and he's showing it here today.
He wants it white or black. He wants to know all the answers. Huh?
He's got answers today.
He's got a lot. Here's a 27-yard try now by Nedney, who's hit from 46. He tacks on 3 more. Well, the fumble by Gerard, Solomon, could have been much worse. It only cost the Jacksonville Jaguars 3 points.
But certainly a reversal of fortunes for the Jacksonville Jaguars, as they, I think, were robbed of the momentum with the turnover by David.
Here's the kickoff by the 36-year-old Joe Nedney. Again, he bobbles the ball, picked up at the 1. They got a beat on him, and they bring him down. Great special teams. I think we're about to learn something about Jacksonville's resilience here.
Yeah, absolutely. They're on the road. They're down 20-3 in the 3rd quarter. They've had some success. Let's see if they can regain it and put themselves back into this game.
Worst beginning field position today for Gerard, who's at 10 consecutive passes. This is Maurice Jones-Drew. And he is limited to a gain of 3 to the 13-yard line. 2nd down and 7 from the 13. He's got him. Mercedes Lewis having a career year. Belted on the play by Patrick Willis. He catches it for 22. He moves up to the 35. That fast-paced offense of Green Bay caused this San Francisco defense some problems last week.
And you can see right now Jacksonville wanting to go back with the no huddle. And you can see this pass to the big tight end, Mercedes Lewis, working against Michael Lewis, the defensive back. But the no huddle offense gives, I think, Jacksonville a little bit better tempo. It's a sense of urgency. You can look at the scoreboard, and as the clock begins to tick down, they've got to be able to score and score quickly.
They just went to the nickel on 1st and 10. Monroe buys some time, and there is a drop pass by Holt. He was covered on the play by Shante Spencer. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Shante Spencer, I think, is a very good football player as he's matched up with Holt. Remember, before their 2 starting quarterbacks went down, he was one of the best, I thought, 3rd nickel corners coming in. But now he's their #1. He's the guy covering typically the best wide receiver they put on the field, and he's playing very well.
Well, he surprised some in camp by winning a 3-way battle at that right quarterback position, including beating out Dre Blanc.
Yeah, he's a very good football player. Always thought he was an underrated player, and I think he's showing everybody here in San Francisco he deserves to be a starter.
He's on a pit. The blitz by Goldson. It's 2nd and 10. Oh, look at the pocket crumble. Look at the guys driving into the quarterback, Gerard. Patrick Willis among many in a loss of 2. Back to the 32.
He was hit. He was hit again, and the strength of David Gerard, they couldn't get him down. He did hold on to the ball, but look at the defenders all on him. They have him, and he's still trying to throw the football. Better off just holding on to it. How strong is David Gerard with San Francisco 49er defenders draped all over him? They're trying to get the ball out, and he holds on to it.
He had Demetric Evans on him. He had Ray McDonald on him. He's lost some weight, too, from last year, hasn't he?
Wow, and still strong. He hadn't lost any of his strength.
Jacksonville's not converted. 3rd down all day, 0 for 5. 3rd and 12 right here. And caught. Holt to the 48. 1st down. He picks up 15. He was guarded by Spencer, who are just singing his praises. A 15-yard pickup, and they move the chains.
Yeah, and he takes this one deep over the middle of the field. I thought Spencer had him covered outside the numbers, but once Holt was able to take it deep down inside over the middle of the field, that's where there was a little bit more room to get this ball in there. So see him turn around right there, and that's where the completion is made, giving Spencer no help, deciding to help the corner to the other side.
They just converted their first 3rd down of the day. On the 48, Maurice Jones-Drew. There's a little bit of a hole. He'll dance his way into the grasp of Michael Lewis. Boy, Arizona's playing well, too. Great return there.
How about Chris Johnson, an 85-yarder. He touches it, he can go to the house from anywhere on the field.
It's 2nd down and 1. Maurice Jones-Drew again. Now they've got some momentum with him. He was initially tripped up on the play by Franklin. He picks up 6. He gets the 1st down to the 37-yard line. So if you can find that balance of the run and pass and have that feed into this tempo thing thereafter, all the better.
He only had 5 carries in the first half. Didn't do a lot of damage running the football, did Maurice Jones-Drew, because this defense kept him hemmed in. If they can get him going, and now the offense could get going. What did Mike Sims-Walker tell us about Maurice Jones-Drew? He's the engine that really gets the offense going.
Rashad Jennings has just come in. 1st and 10 for Jacksonville, moving the ball well for the second time in the second half from the 37. Lewis with a nice block. Garrard under pressure. He is the number 2 rushing quarterback in the NFL. Sopoaga brings him down after a scramble of 5. And they put him at the 32-yard line. In fact, this is one of the best rushing quarterback over the last 3 years in the NFL.
Yeah, look at the pump fake. He wanted to go over to the right side to Zach Miller, but the coverage was really good by Dre Bly up top. And then he's forced to hold on to the football. Tried to use his mobility to create a first down, but David Garrard is so difficult to defend because he has great mobility, but his patience with the football, he can outweight the defense waiting for a guy to get open.
Think of the San Francisco defense. They faced Rodgers, a running quarterback last week, running quarterback today. Earlier, Vince Young, 2nd and 5. Oh, it was almost picked up by Takeo Spikes as they were going downfield for Mercedes Lewis.
Oh, this is great coverage by the veteran linebacker, Takeo Spikes. Watch him coming over on the left side of your screen, right in the chest of Lewis. Look at that. Almost able to hold that one and pull the ball in. But you can see if Lewis is not able to break that one up, I believe Takeo Spike's going to come down with an interception.
What an influence he's had on some of these younger San Francisco defenders like Patrick Willis.
He is a true leader. Everywhere he's been a phenomenal leader on the defensive side of the ball.
Maurice Jones-Drew is back in the game. 3rd and 5. Into the nickel, Garrard stares. Caught. That's grabbed by Zach Miller. Upended on the play by Goldson. Picks up 11. His first catch today. It's a first down to the 22.
And when they couldn't convert any of these 3rd down opportunities in the first half, they convert on 2 on this drive alone. Extending the drive, getting the ball over to Miller over the middle of the field. Right now, David Garrard, you sense he's starting to get back in rhythm. Just can't turn it over. You got to be able to convert on this possession. On
this drive, they've gone 22 yards on a pass to Lewis, 15 yards on a pass to Holt, and right there, 11 yards to Miller, the former college quarterback. 1st and 10 from the 22. Here's Jones-Drew, his lead from Greg Jones. As you see the tackle right there made by Spencer, gain of about 9 to 10 yards. We'll see where they spot it near the 13. We'll call it a gain of 9.
Well, you love the design of this run play. Watch him follow the fullback, Greg Jones. Come back to the other side, right up his back. And if Spencer doesn't fold in underneath, he might run that one close to the goal line. But, boy, they're able to run the football. We talked about getting Maurice Jones-Drew going. 2nd and 1, you usually want to take a shot at the end zone throwing the football.
San Francisco's red zone defense, number 6 in the NFL. 2nd down and 1. Jones-Drew again. Well, Justin Smith got his first big claws around him. Ray McDonald jumped on him. No gain on the play. They stay at the 13-yard line.
You see, now you're facing that 3rd and 1. I think that you want to give them a look like you're going to run it and go play action and take a shot at the end zone. You're going to end up with 3rd and 1 anyway, even if it's incomplete. And now they find themselves with that situation. I think you could have caught the San Francisco 49ers defense off balance by throwing the ball with a play action pass on that previous play.
Garrard is thrown for 252 yards today. It's 3rd and 1 from the 13. Maurice Jones-Drew held and brought down beautifully on the play by Patrick Willis, the 2-time Pro Bowler. Goes and gets the 5-7 through and throws him for a loss. It looks like about a yard back to the 14-yard line.
Well, they stacked this one up pretty good, and then Patrick Willis, watch, he'll just shoot the gap. See, watch the penetrating 52, and when he tackles you and wraps you up, you go down. Maurice Jones-Drew, one of the more difficult running backs to get on the ground, but not for Patrick Willis.
San Francisco has gotten 2 touchdown passes by Alex Smith today. Jacksonville is driving. They've got it at the 49er 14. 4th and 2, 14th play of the drive. First play of the 4th quarter. The rush comes on. Harrelson has it. The ball knocked away. Smith knocks it away. McDonald tries to vacuum it in. Was it a fumble? Was it an incomplete? It was a fumble. It was recovered at the 34-yard line. No player in the NFL has fumbled more this season than David Garrard. Jacksonville has had 2 red zone turnovers today. 8 for the year. Number 1 in the NFL in that disastrous category from the 35. 1st and 10. This is Frank Gore. Wrapped up by the linebacker Ingram. Leaves room to the 37, and Solomon picks up 3 yards on the play.
Well, it's the defense that's making plays. Watch, they just don't block it. They come right underneath the left tackle, Eugene Monroe, and they're able to get right inside. Look, they don't block it. You don't give David Garrard any time. Before he can get his head around, the defense is on top of him, forcing the ball out. It was going to be a turnover on downs anyway once they got their hands on the quarterback.
You can see right there all those turnovers and those precious red zone possessions.
Yeah, I think first of all, you got to block it. But putting the ball in the hands of Maurice Jones-Drew, in my mind, is going to be your best option to gain 1 yard and pick up a first down.
4 in the secondary. They're going to guard the slot receiver with a linebacker. 2nd down and 7. Smith again giving great time to deflection. And almost the interception on the play by Durant. Davis got one of them, the 9th of the year. It's one of the best marks in the NFL. Garrard's had good numbers, but the fumbles are killing the Jaguars.
Well, the fumbles I think are a result of poor protection by the offensive line. You have 2 rookies starting at the tackle position, and on both times when he's been hit, it's guys coming in clean. So it is not as if he had a lot of time to get rid of the football. When you whiff at the line of scrimmage, it doesn't bode well for your quarterback.
3rd down and 7. Watch number 84 Morgan right there at the bottom of your screen. He's caught 4 catches today on 3rd down. This is Gore getting a block and then brought down on the play by Groves. He loses a yard. The block came from Rochelle. So it's 3 and out for San Francisco.
Huge stop by the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. The fact that they did not allow the 49ers to eat any more time off the clock, to not extend the drive, forcing the 3 and out to get the ball right back. So that allows, I think, Jack Del Rio to go for it on 4th down when you know your defense can get the stop and get the ball back for your offense.
Witherspoon is deep back. He had a nice punt return earlier in this game of 42 yards. Andy Lee, the 2nd-rated punter in the NFL, will boot this for San Francisco. Witherspoon wants the fair catch. 3 and out for San Francisco after the Garrard punt in the fumble in the red zone. So from the 22-yard line, 1st and 10, Mercedes Lewis can only get a hand on it, can't lasso the pass. Lewis on the coverage. It'll be 2nd down and 10. They go to the nickel on 2nd down and 10. The blitz again. Goldson can't get him. Chased by Smith. There goes Garrard. Look at him take his time up the sideline with the flag thrown on the play. Smith got a hand on him. Was it a late hit? Was he in the chalk? It's an 18-yard rumble right now. And he's out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Holding. Number 89. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
And that's on the tight end, Mercedes Lewis, and a livid Jack Del Rio.
Yeah, he thinks his quarterback was hit late, and he believes that Garrard was out of bounds when he was hit. Let's take a look.
Clearly,
oh, yeah, right there.
Clear. Plus, he was
right
horse-collared.
They were horse-collared,
everything. Got him on the back.
Clearly out of bounds, and that's Justin Smith, 94, in chase. Okay, he's out of bounds. Now he's going for him, and then he yanks him to the ground.
So it's 2 things. Late hit, horse collar, and they don't get anything.
Well, Jack Del Rio is livid.
I'd be ticked off, too.
Well, and it's your quarterback, too,
Yeah.
because I thought we were protecting quarterbacks in this league.
I thought we were, too. 2nd down and 20. They need the 32. In the nickel. Now they drop back linebackers. Maurice Jones-Drew. Lead there by Evan Britton. Brought down by Goldson. And there's no Warner. It's Leinart.
Oh, wow. That's going to be very interesting.
It's 3rd down and 8. Still the nickel. From the 24. Lewis can't get him. He's got to get to the 32. And he was hit shy of that mark at about the 29. And whacked on the player. Chased out of bounds by Terrell Brown and by Patrick Willis. It's a gain of 5. He's shot.
And David Garrard selling out. Look, once he gets outside of Lewis, see, there's no one to contain the football. Now he thinks he's going to be able to get to that 1st down marker. But what about the speed and hustle of Patrick Willis? If he doesn't hustle, Garrard's going to pick up a 1st down on the play.
Interesting numbers on Garrard. You've talked about the lack of time in that pocket.
Yeah, they haven't sacked him a lot, but boy, they've been able to hit, hurry, and harass his ability to make plays, getting after Jack Del Rio's quarterback.
Look where they're going to go for it here. It's 4th down and 3. They're at their 29. They must be putting a lot of chips on this number right here.
They're putting a lot of chips on it, but If the defense is playing well, you got to think you could get the ball back.
The nickel secondary, 4th and 3. They need the 32. Here comes McDonald. There goes Jones-Drew. Oh, and he breaks one tackle after another on the move into the secondary. Brought down by Spencer. A catch and run of 13 to the 42 and a first down.
So the gamble pays off for Jack Del Rio. They decide to go for it on 4th and 3. They know the pressure's coming, but giving him an outlet that is Maurice Jones-Drew, who can break tackles and get to the second level. They maintain possession of the football, and we said it on the last 2 drives. They've been able to move the ball. Maybe that's what's given Jack Del Rio the confidence to go for it on 4th down.
Didn't we just have a Super Bowl winning coach criticized for going for it on 4th and 3 deep in his own zone? Here's Garrard, 1st and 10, and scooped in by Thomas. Jones-Drew is out. Jennings is in. 1st and 10 from the 33. This is Rashad Jennings. Takeo Spikes brings him down. Willis hammers him as well. It's a gain of 8 to the 25.
Jennings is a real good pass protector. That time they allow him to run the ball.
Jennings remains. 2 consecutive fumbles by Garrard deep in San Francisco territory the last 2 times. Jennings brought down by Roman, the ex-Packer. 22-yard line. He picks up 3 yards right there.
And now Maurice Jones-Drew comes back on after getting a breather for Jack Del Rio. Del Rio knows that this is a pivotal moment in the game. They've got to be able to get points. They've got to be able to get a touchdown. And I think it puts some pressure on San Francisco right now. They've got to take some shots down the field. Mike Sims-Walker has been the guy to come up big for Jacksonville in these situations.
1st and 10. Maurice Jones-Drew. There was a nice block across the way by Waneri. It finally pulled down by Spencer. Hard to bring him down. Willis jumps on his back too. A gain of 9, maybe 10. They'll spot him at the 12.
Willis seems to be the only guy who can get him on the ground. And I'm sure he's imploring all the other 10 guys, hey guys, we got to tackle him, because he nearly popped that one for a touchdown.
Well, that's what Mike Singletary told us the other day. It can't just be one guy. It's got to be a lot of guys bringing him down.
Take a look at the drive chart. 5 times they've run the ball, 3 passes. They've moved 66 yards.
2nd down and 1. Maurice Jones-Drew. Final drives his way down to the 5, maybe the 6. Hit on the play by Ahmad Brooks, among others. He picks up 7. Maurice Jones-Drew, who is closing in on his first 1,000-yard season. He's got 72 right now. He's 2 yards away. He's got 998 yards in his first year as the featured back for this offense.
I think it's hard to find anyone better in this league at both running and catching the ball.
1st and goal at the 7. Jones-Drew, look at the patience. Picking and poking his way down to about the 2-yard line. Then the avalanche of red brings him down. Willis was there. Gain of 4. We'll put him at the 3.
Clock ticking. They've got to move quickly. I think once they've gone to the no huddle, they found that they can move the football against this defense. Now when you get inside the red zone, you've got to be able to keep this defense on their heels, and you've got to be able to take a shot, as Maurice Jones-Drew with that carry have gone over 1,000 yards rushing for the season.
He came in as the number 5 rusher in the NFL. 3rd and goal at the 3. Garrard deflected, almost intercepted, incomplete. It was 2nd and goal at the 3. And he was looking in the end zone. It looked like on the near side for Thomas. Goldson and Brown were there.
Yeah, we said they were going to take a shot, and they did take a shot. Then
Mike Sims-Walker,
intercepting tips and overthrows. I think that's what you have to be able to do. This ball hangs in the air. You're the 49ers, you've got to be able to turn that one over. That was an opportunity to come down with a pick.
3rd and goal at the 3. Jones-Drew is a slot receiver on the left side.
Mike Singletary's on the field.
Oh, he's
calling the timeout.
He ran inside the numbers.
He wants to play.
I don't think I've ever seen a coach do that before.
Well, you get the
I know
coach
they can
call a timeout. As we return to Candlestick, watch Mike Singletary run on the field. See, there's an official over there that he says, hey, you're supposed to be looking at me as I'm calling a timeout. So he had to go run on the field to get the other official's attention before he could get the timeout call.
It's 3rd down and goal at the 3. 12th play of the drive. Incomplete. Was it for Holt on the goal line in a congested area? Garrard was trying to slip it in a very small window.
And you got to kick a field goal here. I think that's what you got to do. It's a 3-possession game anyway, and we're going to show you the replay and show you what happened on that play. And you can see Torrey Holt was cut off, and that's why he's trying to say, hey, they interrupted me and didn't allow me to get to my spot on the field. But I think you got to take the field goal here. It's a 3-possession game. You take the field goal, understanding that 2 more possessions can get you a tied ball game.
21-yard field goal try by Josh Scobie. Oh, and he hits the upright. They come up with nothing. That 21-yard missed field goal by Josh Scobie ties the shortest missed field goal in the season so far. Lawrence Tynes had one. He missed from 21 for the New York Giants. Taking over at the 21st and 10. This is Gore. Whacked on the play by Durant. Gain of a yard to the 21. Smith has thrown 2 touchdown passes today. They go the other way for Davis, who caught one of those touchdown passes early. Brought down by Cox. Rumbling on the near side of the 29. Picks up 8 yards on the play. They're going to go to 8-3 now, San Diego.
Chargers, one of the hottest teams in the National Football League. And boy, Denver Broncos thought they were in control of that division, but not anymore.
It's 3rd and 1. Here is Gore. And Norris tried to lead the way. Stanley makes the stop along with others. It's a gain of 2. They'll move the chains to the 31-yard line.
And this is where I think if you're the San Francisco 49ers, you've got a lot of young offensive players, Frank Gore, Crabtree, Davis, and of course their quarterback Alex Smith. This is an opportunity to grow up, and I'm sure Mike Singletary has talked to his players about that, hey, right now, in terms of what their record is, 4-6 coming into this game, the next 6 games is as if they're in the playoffs, and they've got to be able to close out games like this with a 17-point lead in the final minutes of the 4th quarter.
Jacksonville with 3 timeouts, San Francisco with 2. It's a 1st and 10 from the 31. Gore. And with a beat on him, Durant, loss of a yard. And to the 29. So is this game more about the squandered opportunities of Jacksonville or the play of San Francisco?
I think a little bit of both. There's no doubt. Josh Scobie has missed 2 field goals today. They've squandered a tremendous amount of red zone opportunities, but got to give a lot of credit to the San Francisco 49ers. The way they played on offense, especially their quarterback, that's the reason why they're leading in this game.
2nd and 11. There's Russell Allen, undrafted, and a rookie comes through, throws Gore for a 4-yard loss back to the 25. Well, it's 3rd and 16 for San Francisco. Jacksonville just burned their first time out. 4:28 to play. You're at your 25. I wonder what play they got dialed up here.
Yeah, well, I think the key is you want to try to convert this and pick up a 1st down, but the chances are you could turn it over trying to force the issue.
True.
And you don't want to give Jacksonville the ball inside your territory.
And San Francisco's had no turnovers today, no sacks allowed. 3rd and 16. Where they come right now. Crabtree taken down by Brackenridge. Loss of a yard on the play. Back to the 24. They got to punt the ball. And now the question is there enough time for Jacksonville to make any damage in this game?
Well, first you give credit to the Jacksonville Jaguars defense for getting the ball back, getting off the field. But how about making a play on special teams? You can hit a home run in the return game, as you see. I think that's Thomas who is back there. He's capable of making a play, but you need a long return to be able to set the table for David Garrard on offense.
Witherspoon is back. He has not returned a kick in his career. And to punt is Andy Lee, number 2 punter in the National Football League, as we've talked about before, a Pro Bowler back in '07. And with very little breeze to work in his favor, Lee will send this away. The 49ers come in at 4-6, 2nd place in the NFC West, but they've lost 5 of 6 after starting the season 3-1.
Well, they have been a team that I think at times have really answered, but they are a very young team, and so trying to find that consistency. We talked about the injuries on the offensive line has forced things to turn south.
Lee sends it to Witherspoon at the 7. Hang time of 3-8. McKillop can't make the tackle. 6 plays punt for San Francisco from the 36-yard line. 1st down and 10 for Jacksonville. Jennings is in. Jones-Drew is on the sideline. Into the nickel. Nice block by Monroe. Has to give another one on Ahmad Brooks. Garrard can't find anybody. Great coverage by San Francisco. Has to throw it away. How about the Niners and their coverage right there? It's 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and it's also a point in the game. This is where David Garrard's been so good over the last couple of weeks. You can see the 2nd half possessions for Jacksonville. Squandered opportunities, a couple of fumbles, a missed field goal, but he's been so good getting the game-winning drive in each of the last 2 weeks and find himself in that situation again.
Jennings still in the backfield, 2nd down and 10. Here comes the pressure, and down he goes. Harris Harrelson comes through and makes the sack. His 3rd of the year, his 2nd in as many games.
Harrelson has been really good coming off the corner. Remember, they're starting 2 rookie offensive tackles working against Monroe over on the left side, Evan Britton on the right side, and they're able to collapse the pocket and put pressure on David Garrard.
3rd down and 12, still no Jones-Drew in the game. Jennings, the rookie out of Liberty, hit by Lewis. Oh, close to a 1st down. He got to the 46. It's a gain of 12 on the catch and run. Let's see where the spot is. Yep, they're going to give him the 1st down. So they get a 1st and 10 to the 46.
Able to convert, but they've got to start taking some shots down the field. But look at how many defenders are dropping in coverage for San Francisco.
It's 1st and 10 for Garrard. Mike Simswalker shoved out of bounds by Terrell Brown. 5 in the secondary, 2nd down and 5. Jennings at the side of Garrard. Offers a block. Here comes Takeo Spikes. The 5th sack today of David Garrard. A loss of 5 on the play. Back to the 45. And Jacksonville with the clock continuing. Yep, at the 46.
It's been pressure all day on David Garrard. They've allowed defenders to come free to get to their quarterback.
3rd and 17. They're down to get to the 43-yard line of San Francisco. Can't get it there. Looking for Holt. Coverage on the play by Shante Spencer.
If your quarterback is going to bring you back and get you in ball games, it has to start up front with protection. And not only have they missed guys and allowed defenders to come free, sometimes they've just been beaten man up. And so give a lot of credit to the San Francisco 49ers, their defensive coordinator Greg Manusky being able to dial up the kind of pressure on Jack Del Rio's quarterback, where they have not been able to protect him. Look, knocked him down 12 times. He's been hurried to throw it 14 times and sacked 5 times on the day.
4th down and a long 11. And again, they need the San Francisco 43. Oh, he fought right by the rookie left tackle, and Justin Smith comes in with his 2nd sack this season.
There's no way you should be able to sack the quarterback. Rushing only 3 defenders. 8 guys dropped into coverage for the 49ers. And watch it, only 3 guys are going to rush. And watch up top, Justin Smith is relentless. The bull rush over Eugene Moreau, 75. It started out 2 defenders trying to block him, but look, he just walks right in. Comes underneath Eugene Moreau to get the sack. And if you're David Garrard, you've got to expect to have time when they're only rushing 3 defenders on that play.
So he's been sacked as Garrard 6 times today. Smith registered 1 right there. He was the high-priced free agent from Cincinnati a year ago.
And he is one heck of a player. Relentless is Justin Smith.
San Francisco, on the other hand, Solomon, no turnovers, no sacks allowed. It's 1st and 10 from the 39. This is Gore. Lead block there is thrown by the guard, Rochelle. Gain of 2 to the 37. Durant was there with the tackle, and this is a look at the wild card in the NFC.
And now will the 49ers become part of the conversation, improving their record. Came in at 4-6 to be able to improve their record to 5-6. They're certainly remaining in the hunt, along with the Giants, Chicago, a team they've already beaten this year.
So the timeout was taken by Jacksonville. They are out of timeouts now. San Francisco has 2 remaining with 2:42 to play in the 4th quarter. Mike Singletary, trying to build upon their offensive success of a week ago in the 2nd half at Green Bay, has done this today. Jacksonville will now go to 6-5. Denver is at 7-4. Pittsburgh is at 6-4.
Now, the fact that they're in the hunt right around Thanksgiving, Jacksonville, with such a young team that Jack Del Rio has, I think he wasn't going to go out and say that, but yes, it is a rebuilding season. But the fact that they're in the hunt, boy, has he done one heck of a job this year. And
remember, they began the season 0-2, 2nd down and 8. Gore slicing his way, and the initial hit after a gain of 5 was put on him by Darryl Smith, the leading tackler for the Jaguars. He's down to the 32, and now Jacksonville cannot stop the clock. Next stop will come at the 2-minute warning. So again, no mistakes by San Francisco, in addition to no turnovers and no sacks allowed. 1 penalty assessed.
Mike Singletary said it. He said, we need to put together a game where we play well in all 3 phases: offense, defense, special teams. they did that today, and that's why they're going to win it. And he said, we have some young players. I just want them to taste it. I want them to taste what it feels like to be in the hunt.
We've reached the 2-minute warning. Jacksonville is out of timeouts. They've had a disastrous second half. San Francisco has cashed in, not necessarily with points, but their defense is held. You take a look at Maurice Jones-Drew coming back home. A couple missed field goals by Scobie. A couple of very important red zone turnovers by quarterback David Garrard. 2 fumbles on 2 consecutive possessions. Here's 3rd and 3, and it's Gore. Hit by Durant, and Submarines to the 26. Has got the first down, picks up 6 on the play.
Take a look at the remaining schedule for the San Francisco 49ers. Record will improve to 5-6. Seattle and Arizona coming up next. 2 teams they have already beaten. They've gone on the road and beat Arizona the first week of the season, and then in week 2 they beat Seattle 23-10. Mike Singletary got to be proud of his young group. The key is can they remain in this offense? Can they continue to protect Alex Smith as they play Seattle or as they play the Arizona Cardinals? Remember, Jacksonville can't rush the passer. 10 sacks in their first 10 games, and they've yet to get a sack today on Alex Smith. So they did a good job protecting him today, but I don't know that they'll be able to protect him moving forward with their upcoming opponents.
Well, Jacksonville's got 3 straight at home, beginning with Houston. You and I will be in Jacksonville for that Miami game, then the Colts. I was looking at Mike Singletary there for a second, and he's trying to build unity on this team. He took over midseason last year after they fired their coach. And his big slogan here is, I am my brother's keeper. In other words, we're as strong as the weakest link, and we are a team. And he stresses that so much in every practice and every meeting he has with his ball club.
He stressed it when he talked to us. He said that, hey, we've got to play a complete game in all 3 phases. That's what they did today. The offense made plays. The defense were able to get the turnovers. The special teams played well today. So, yeah, he should be very proud of this bunch.
And Jacksonville on their 2 West Coast trips have now been outscored by a count of 61-3. They lost 41-zip up in Seattle. They lose 20-3 here today.